Hey everybody, Mark Horner, Beyond 90 Seconds, and it is 4 minutes before midnight on Friday evening, about to go into Saturday here in Pacific Standard Time. I'm in the Seattle area, and we're here to talk wildfires once again with some fresh pictures and video about yet another fire in British Columbia, not too far from Washington State, because it's just over along the southern end, toward the southern end of Vancouver Island. It's the Mount Hayes fire outside of Nanaimo, which if you follow this live stream and this YouTube channel, you know we often check in with Janine Sedola, who lives in Nanaimo. And it was just about 8 days ago that she was showing us with video and interviews the fire danger concern in Nanaimo when she was on the Horner's Corner program that we do every Thursday night. Janine joins us once again with the fruits of her labor this evening. She was out shooting pictures, video, and also collected some pictures from some other people who live near this fire, the Mount Hayes fire outside of Nanaimo. Janine, thanks for joining us tonight.
Oh, thank you, Mark. Thanks for having me on your show.
Yeah, so I'll tell you what, we're going to get right to it. And I'm going to bring up some video so that we can show, beginning with the way this fire looked just yesterday still. Yesterday would have been Thursday still. So Thursday evening, the fire was discovered and reported just yesterday afternoon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I was listening to my scanner and I heard the call. It was quite the rush out there, and it started small and now it's at 70 hectares.
Which I imagine is probably around 29, 30 acres for the folks here in the US. That's not an exact computation, but just to kind of give you some perspective. So this is what it looked like last night. And then beginning with this photo, the first two, the person didn't want to be identified, but these photos here with the name Daryl Downey in the top right corner, these are all from Mr. Downey. He's got several of the pictures from last night that give us a context of what it looks like up there on a ridge line. There are neighborhoods, there are structures nearby. There's not only wildlife, but livestock, to include horses. CTV report earlier this evening talked about thousands of turkeys in one building. But there's also something else of concern up there. People aren't speaking about it as if it's immediate threat, but it's liquefied natural gas, right, Janine?
I think there's an underground line and there's a storage facility as far as I understand it to be. And they have evacuated two properties up there. One of them is the industrial one. I believe that's Fortisgas, although they've left people behind to man the station. And also the Bush Creek fish hatchery was evacuated.
I'm going to back the video up just a little bit, because once we got to this scene right here, this was this evening, if I'm not mistaken. You were out. So this is early Friday evening, and you're overlooking Nanaimo towards a distant ridge. And it's a gray day, a gray sky day, but you could actually, just left of center in the middle of your picture, we see the smoke from the fire, right?
That's right. I went up to a subdivision called Oak Ridge, and I wanted to get a vantage point from back far. And you can see the smoke. And then I went to Jack's Point and then out to Cedar.
And so once you're on Cedar Road, I believe is the name of the road, you begin to get a much closer look. In fact, if you look carefully, just to the right of center and above, you can see a helicopter.
Yes, it was quite the view. I saw the helicopters water bombing the fire, and you could see that clearly from Cedar Road, and here comes one now.
How much concern, since you live in that area, and I know you keep very close attention, Janine, you always have, to emergency related things. If there's two things that you talk about, it's earthquakes and it's wildfires, and being prepared for emergencies. What's the general sense in this area? For example, the CTV report that I watched Friday evening, it seemed to make it seem as if firefighters were, I think they used the term, on their heels to keep up with this fire. But when I read the official news information from the forest agency or the fire agency online, it seems far more low key. What's it like out there for the people who live there? I think I'd be concerned.
Oh, yes, everybody in Nanaimo and Ladysmith is very concerned. I have read on the Wildfire BC service information page that this fire continues to be classified as out of control, although they obviously are trying to contain it, and it looks a little less angry right now than it did earlier in your earlier photos that you've posted.
Yeah, from Thursday evening, just hours after it was reported or discovered. So we don't know anything about the cause of the fire yet, do we? That's still under investigation, as I understand it.
Oh, there's a lot of rumors, and so we won't discuss those, but I didn't see any lightning in the area, or I didn't hear anything on a weather report, so I'm not sure if it was human caused or not.
You mentioned people, all of Nanaimo is concerned about this fire, and even closer than Nanaimo is another immediate town. Can you tell us about it, please?
This is in the Cowichan Regional District, and it borders on the Nanaimo Regional District as well. So it's right on the border. So both towns have concerns. Ladysmith, it's very close to Ladysmith, and it's very close to some streets with 20 properties, Tackler Road, Ivy Road, David Road. They're on alert to be evacuated.
It was only 8 days ago, Janine, you were online with me during a live stream, and that we spoke with you and two other guests about the fire danger. We were talking about the fire danger not only in Washington State, but very much in British Columbia as well. We talked a lot about the White Rock Lake wildfire over at Okanagan Lake. But you were showing us a video of just how dry the conditions were and continue to be, despite the cooler weather in recent days and the cloud cover. It's still tinder dry out there, right?
Oh, it's terribly dry. And yeah, in that video, we covered your friend Christian's concerns with his house being really close to a wildfire. And then now it's me in Nanaimo having concerns about wildfires.
I will say this, though, from the sense from you was that it's only a matter of time and that people were just trying to stress, be safe, don't throw the cigarettes, don't tap the ashes out the window, for example. Don't, you were pointing out areas where there had been a fire, where there was drug activity in the woods right beside a senior center in Nanaimo. But that was you were trying to get a cautionary word out, if you were, because this was the fear that something like this could happen. Again, we don't know the cause here, but the result is a wildfire. And I think you told me earlier tonight that even though you yourself live about 20 miles or so away from this fire can move fast. So the concern is real for those of you who live miles away as well.
Yes, we're all at risk. I drive for a living. I sell real estate. I see people throwing cigarettes out on the road even now. And there is a toll-free number that you can phone. It's star 5555 on your cell phone, and you can report that. But the last time I posted about that on Facebook, someone said, what's wrong with throwing your cigarettes out the window? It's like people aren't aware, and maybe they need a little more education about the possibilities of triggering a wildfire by throwing cigarettes or putting them out the window, using it as an ashtray.
You mentioned you work as a realtor, and I know that you've been in that business, that line of work for decades. Do do wildfires have much of an impact on the housing market and the work that you do?
Yes, they do, because it's very difficult to obtain insurance. Um, you can't get a mortgage without insurance, and you can't get insurance if you're within 25 miles of a wildfire.
All good points. There, last night you had shared with me Thursday evening a link to a YouTube channel that I forget the name of the other nearby mountain that has the camera on it. Perhaps you could remind me. But
Oh,
it's
Mount Benson has a
yeah.
webcam. Yes.
So yeah, I was watching the Mount Benson live webcam last night, and again this morning to see what this fire looked like. And there was a lot. There was quite a bit of engagement from people watching and using the live chat to share their observations and feelings about the fire. And it seemed apparent that there were some of those people, if not most of them, were locals and expressing their concerns. Well, you did a great job out there, Janine, getting us pictures and video. What was it like for you to? I mean, I know you didn't get very close, which is great. We prefer you didn't. But what was your sense being there as opposed to at home in Nanaimo, but seeing it there in front of you, seeing the helicopter activity?
Well, I'm really glad that you inspired me to go and film this today. I saw several people on the sides of the roads watching, and it was very fascinating. And the work of the fire department is amazing. They did such a wonderful job. You can see them bombing one after the next. It's incredible how they can work and do such a good job here.
Yeah. Could you smell the smoke even though you were a distance away from this fire?
Yes, as I progressed south, I really found that it was very difficult to breathe in certain areas. Like I really felt the particulates in the air. It was a really big drastic change. Once I got south, I started to get used to it, but that initial impact was quite noticeable.
All right. Well, I think we pretty well covered what we can for this evening. Is there anything I haven't asked you, Janine, that you would like to add?
No, I just hope that everybody's more careful, and a spark can create this havoc. And throwing a cigarette butt out the window, same thing. I just hope that everybody will be a little more careful from now on, and hopefully we can avoid this in the future.
All right. Well, can't disagree with that. And you've been waving the flag of caution and telling people for, well, not only this fire season, but for some time when you visited this channel about the importance of being prepared for emergencies, such as this one, having your to-go bag, having your escape routes, all of that considered. So these words that come from you as your parting thoughts aren't terribly surprising, but they remain wise words nonetheless. Janine, thank you for going out there tonight and helping to bring this story to us. And we really appreciate it. Yeah, you didn't have to do that, but you did. You hustled. We got it edited, and here we are just after midnight now. So thank you very much. I do appreciate it.
Oh, and thanks for having me on. And I really especially want to thank Daryl for helping me with the photography, and another person in my ham radio club for giving me the photographs to use. So thank you, everybody. And this was a great late night Horner's Corner. And I will be watching your show on every Thursday.
Appreciate that, Janine. Thanks so much. And perhaps we can can continue to check in with you regarding what's going on with this fire.
Well, thank you very much.
All right. Would you mind just hanging on for a bit for the post show, and we'll go ahead and stop the live stream on YouTube now.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. If you like this type of content, please, if you give it a like, this video, it really helps with the YouTube algorithm, meaning that ultimately this video will be suggested a bit more for content for people on YouTube, and that definitely helps the channel. If you'd like to go a step further, you can also support through Patreon. I'm at patreon.com/beyond 90 seconds, beyond 90 seconds, beyond 90 seconds.